Hi there YouTube, welcome back to my channel. This is Lydia with Sweet King's Garden, and this is the fourth video to my pregnancy series. I am currently 19 weeks pregnant, and this video is all about updates pertaining to weeks 17 through 19. I am so excited to tell you what's all been going on. So just a brief recap, if you are interested in watching videos 1 through 3, I will create a playlist on my YouTube channel for you to explore and watch those videos at your leisure, but it pretty much just sums up my fertility journey to date and then talks about my experience through the IVF process, first trimester, second trimester so far, and then this is another update as it pertains to the second trimester. So checking in, what's new? So I do want to report back that I'm still absolutely loving my homemade basil lemonade, which is pretty much just a tangerine liquid IV packet with some fresh basil and water, and it's just a really nice hydrating drink. So I'm still drinking that almost every single day. However, new is now Nora Tea. So this was recommended by my midwife. I now drink this every day as well. So what is Nora Tea? This is an herbal tea that you can make at home, and that is to help your body prep for delivery. And this was recommended by my midwife to start, I think, beginning weeks 14 or 16, but I didn't actually start drinking it until 2 weeks ago, just because I had to order the dry herbs and then actually make the tea. But the making of the tea is very simple. You simply just combine your herbs, let them steep in hot water overnight in a jar, and that makes a concentrate. And then you can strain all of the herbs that are left over from steeping overnight. You can compost those, and then you're left with a nice tea concentrate, and that jar just sits in my refrigerator all week. And then I fill up the concentrate about 1/3 of the way if I have a large mason jar, and then the rest of the way I'm just adding water and then drizzling some of the honey from our honeybees in that, and it's really tasty. Just tastes like normal iced tea to me, but it has a lot of benefits for pregnancy. So if you too are in a similar stage of pregnancy as I am, just know it's not too late to start Nora Tea, but certainly ask your healthcare provider and do your own research if you're interested in learning more. But for the purposes of this video, I will just provide the recipe and guidelines that I am currently following. So I will continue to drink this tea, hopefully on a daily basis, through the rest of my pregnancy. Aside from that, physical changes, I will say I have popped a little bit beginning on week 17. So in my last video, I was talking about being in this in-between stage where all of my food aversions and nausea from the first trimester had subsided. So I was feeling really good into the second trimester, but nothing really to show that I was growing a baby. So for me, that was a little bit of a mind shift. I had to just trust my body that the body was still growing a baby inside, but I didn't have any type of physical reminder up until, I want to say, week 17, when I consistently found that I had a bit of a belly. I don't have a big belly yet. So I will pop just 2 pictures from, I believe, weeks 17 and 19 here so you can see. But as you can see, it's really not much of a change, but I'm documenting it because I'm fully expecting the belly to grow from here on out. And then in terms of baby kicks, I haven't felt them on a regular basis yet, but I honestly think it may be because I'm so busy throughout my day that I'm not really sitting and observing and looking inward in my body. So if the baby's moving, I'm probably not noticing because I'm busy doing other things. However, yesterday I did feel the baby kick a couple of times, as right before I was getting out of bed to start my day, and then when I was starting my work day. So that was really nice, and just really just exciting. So I'm happy, so happy to start feeling the baby kick. And so again, I'm 19 weeks. So if you haven't felt those physical reminders yet, I don't think it's anything to worry about yet. I think we're almost there in terms of being able to feel our babies on a regular basis from here. So, physical changes, I will say that I am still learning my limits. I started noticing some lower back and hip pain around 17 weeks. And I think that was mainly contributed to standing in my kitchen for hours at a time, preserving a lot of the harvest from my garden. And it was just really too hard on my body. I had just very, very light pain, lower back and hips. I rested during the week and kind of took it easy, and the pain has subsided. I will say another recommendation that came through from my midwife was to start chiropractic care. Now, this is especially beneficial for those that are hoping for a vaginal delivery. In my case, my hope is to have an unmedicated home birth. I understand things can happen during pregnancy, and if I have to transition to hospital care, I will understand that circumstance. However, I want to try and prep my body as much as possible to make sure that my body is really put in a right place, so that when it's time for baby to come, both baby and body can work together. So that is the benefit of starting prenatal chiropractic care. And I had my first appointment this past Tuesday, which was phenomenal. I've never been to a chiropractor before, so all of that was really new to me. And the provider that I saw explained things extremely well. So forgive me for any chiropractors out there if I'm butchering any of this, but what they explained, especially for pregnant women, in terms of the necessity for chiropractic care, is that your hips and uterus need to work together, and you have ligaments and such to suspend your uterus in place. If you are misaligned in some kind of way, your uterus may be offset a little bit, which typically isn't a problem. However, you want to consider how things are aligned when you are planning for delivering a baby, because you want to make sure your baby is able to descend properly and as easy as possible through the birth canal. And seeing a chiropractor to make appropriate adjustments will help keep your body aligned. It will also help remove any type of tension areas to prevent, hopefully, back pain, hip pain, and so on to an extent, understanding your body is going to be growing quite quickly in the next couple of weeks. So I was happy to have had my first chiropractor appointment. I definitely plan on going on a regular basis. In terms of frequency, I'm not quite sure yet. My provider explained that it's very individualized. So my very first appointment was really all about an initial assessment to see how my body is currently aligned now. We took some tests. They will be reviewing the tests and then make a decision as to what a preferred schedule looks like for me. And then as we get closer to the end of my pregnancy, I'd imagine I will go back there on a more frequent basis. So all of that to say, if you are interested in seeking chiropractic care during your pregnancy, I highly recommend it. Again, ask your healthcare provider and do some research, but I will just continue to share my own experience along the way. But so far, I've really enjoyed it. During the last video, I talked about nesting. That is still quite a need for me. So I am hoping to finish cleaning out what will be the baby's room this weekend, so I can hopefully start setting the tape and trimming paints and painting that room over the weekend and into next week. So I am full force, full speed ahead, trying to purge any unnecessary items and really just being conscious of things that do I truly need, and try and just alleviate and get rid of the extra stuff. I think my baby registry may be complete by now. I think I didn't sleep for like 2 days because I spent a lot of time just pulling recommended items that came recommended to me from friends of mine that have had kids, as well as the Birth Hour podcast. There's actually a section on that website that talks about recommended items to add to your registry, and really just pull together different things and added them to the registry. So I haven't really looked at my registry since then. I think it's done. But again, I'm not really stressed on getting too much stuff, just necessities. Another new item from the past 2 weeks is my husband and I signed up for a Bradley Method birthing course. So again, a birthing class was recommended by our midwife, and there were several different types of birthing classes that you and your partner can take, and my husband and I specifically chose one that specializes in the Bradley method because, again, my goal is to, or my hope I should say, is to have an unmedicated home birth. So I want to try and put my husband and I in the best places possible, so we're prepared to really advocate and deal with how to handle birth and delivery using pressure points, counter pressure, and just intervention free as possible. So we start that class in October, and that is a 12-week course. And so that will put us through the end of December. My husband and I are due with our baby on January 27th. Of course, it could be before or after, who knows. So this birthing course really puts us right at that time limit. Another new item that we were kind of asked to consider is whether or not we want to hire a doula. So a doula is beneficial for both the pregnant partner and the partner themselves, because that doula can help advocate for you if you are just navigating birth in any type of setting, and can really just be that central person that you can lean on for support. Now, at the moment, my husband will be my primary support during birth and delivery, and I want this to be as much of his decision as it is mine. So our plan right now, we haven't hired a doula, but that option is still on the table. Our thought is we're going to start the Bradley Method birthing course next month and see how we're feeling as we progress through the weeks, and if we feel like we are equipped to handle birth, and especially him be the primary person that I can literally lean on during birth and delivery. If he feels that we're in a good space and we don't necessarily need a third party, then we'll probably forego a doula. Otherwise, if he feels like it would be beneficial, and I do, then we'll consider hiring a doula. But all of that to say, I just want to emphasize that the decision making should be mutually agreed upon. If he's comfortable with something, I want to know what that is, because I want both of us to be as comfortable as possible in our decision making. So more to come on that. I'll let you know what we decide. But so far, I'm just really excited to get started on the birthing class. I know we have a lot to learn, and I'm just really looking forward to that. As I mentioned, I am currently 19 weeks. Tomorrow actually marks 20 weeks pregnant for me. Tomorrow will be Friday, September 9th, and we are scheduled to go for our anatomy scan next Monday. So this is super exciting because we haven't seen the baby on an ultrasound since I was 8 weeks pregnant. When I was still at the fertility clinic, it was the very last ultrasound I had, and then I graduated from the fertility clinic, and then all of the check-ins have just been via the Doppler, and we haven't seen the baby since. So my husband and I are looking forward to the anatomy scan just to check and make sure baby's healthy and is doing well in terms of their growth and development. We are not finding out the sex of the baby, and there were a couple of reasons for that. Prior to us having a fertility issue, I always thought that I wanted to keep it a surprise, but even more so once we went through our fertility journey, I figured, you know, we've very much planned our pregnancy as much as possible, and I want to leave the rest to be a surprise and follow some kind of just natural event. that took some convincing. My husband was definitely all for knowing the sex of a baby, and we can't possibly plan for a baby if we don't know the sex. He definitely came around to the idea, but I think he just knew how much I was passionate about it, and he let me take that one. So we will not be finding the sex of the baby during the anatomy scan, and that's kind of given me a little bit of stress. I know that whoever we work with is a professional, and I'll let them know that we have no intention of finding out the sex, but I'm just super afraid that for some reason we're going to accidentally see if it's a baby girl or baby boy, and that will be okay. I don't have a preference either way, but I would really like for it to continue to be a surprise. An anatomy scan and birthing courses are really just it in terms of what we will be getting into in the next few weeks. So I hope you've enjoyed this very quick update. If you have any questions for me, feel free to comment below. If you are a pregnant mama yourself, congratulations. If you are struggling with infertility like I was, I hear you and I see you, and just know you have my support, and feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or comments. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in the next update. Take care.